The wild card, of course, out of the mega caps and earnings comes this afternoon, and that is when Apple reports. It is the biggest Dow gainer today. It is the biggest Mag 7 decliner on the year, certainly out of the tech-related companies. It's down 8%, by the way, since its last earnings report. You own this, obviously. You and Brian do, Josh. So how should we think about Apple ahead of overtime tonight?
So I thought about this a lot because this is obviously an amazing long-term investment, but it's had a tough time, especially when you look at it relative to the stocks we usually compare it to. You look at it relative to Microsoft, for example, Amazon, Alphabet. It really seems like there's something wrong, but in reality, there's nothing wrong. It's just that $3 trillion businesses don't grow as fast as $300 billion businesses. The emphasis has to start to shift on where they're making their money, and so that's why we talk more about services than we talk about handsets, or we talk about phones or units. Okay, fine. So they have successfully migrated us mentally more toward services and profits. I think that's
still
great.
Half the business. I think still half the business.
Hugely important. It's $200 billion out of $400 billion. We can't ignore it. We just understand that everyone that wants an iPhone has one. It's now a replacement cycle business for the most part. Yes, they can go into Latin America and India. They are not going to get the same price points that they get when they sell in Western Europe and the United States, period, end of story. So it's just not going to do what the Apple of the last 10 years have done. That being said, and this is really important, analysts are looking for $1.51 in earnings per share, $90.5 billion in revenue for the quarter. That's down 4.5% year over year. That would be the fifth consecutive quarter-over-quarter revenue, the fifth quarter-over-quarter revenue drop out of 6 quarters. By which I want to say, no one is looking for fireworks here. No one is expecting any sort of like magical growth. This is not Amazon.
The reason why, look, let's put this up. We built a couple of walls for you to show you, to Josh's point, the headwinds versus the tailwinds for the stock itself. Josh hits on, I mean, you look at the headwinds, there are a lot, right? Revenues are expected, as Josh said, to decline 4.5% or so year on year. You got the Justice Department antitrust suit. You got China concerns, where Greater China revenues are expected to be down 14%. You got weaker iPhone sales.
Down
revenues
10%,
there,
down 10%.
Down 10% from a year ago. You got the possibility, some analysts are talking about, of a weaker June guide as well. Well, what are the pluses? Some of them are unknown. Are we going to get AI at WWDC? Is it going to be meaningful? Is it going to be a stock mover? Are we going to get a dividend boost today? Are we going to get more buybacks announced today? That's almost a given. And maybe the worst is behind it, as Tony Sacconaghi tried to say in his upgrade the other day. First time in 6 years, by the way, that he did that, where he said, buy the fear. Steve Kovac is outside HQ in Cupertino, California, right? We set it up for you, the headwinds versus the tailwinds, and ultimately we'll find out today what wins the day.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, Scott. And especially I want to kind of zero in on that China issue that you guys were mentioning earlier. And that's, look, we saw the last quarter down 13%, expecting it to look similar today. Again, it's more than just people, not necessarily anyone who wants to buy an iPhone needs to buy an iPhone. It's also competition is heating up, too. You have Samsung coming out with AI devices. You have Huawei. We're showing you the chart here. This is from Counterpoint Research showing a 19% drop in iPhone sales in the first quarter of this year in China, and then look at Huawei, up 69%. So that is showing us that this return of Huawei is really having a negative impact on Apple in China, putting more pressure on them to come up with something with artificial intelligence to tell an AI story that they haven't been telling the same way that their peers like Google and Amazon and Meta have been telling. We still don't really know where Apple fits in that artificial intelligence picture. Of course, like you guys said, we're expecting that next month in June to get some more clarity on that. But right now, we're going to be really hanging on every word Tim Cook says about artificial intelligence to get some kind of hint or clue where he at least thinks Apple plays into that landscape. And then on top of that, on the positive side at least, you guys were talking about services. That is going to grow. That has returned to double-digit growth, very healthy after a kind of post-pandemic slump. So we're seeing some good, strong tailwinds there, especially with the App Store. Obviously, some concerns there on the services side. The DOJ case against Google, they're doing closing arguments today and tomorrow. That puts at threat the search deal that these two companies have. That's $20 billion per year from Google to Apple, and effectively free money that is at risk now, forcing Apple to kind of rethink that kind of dynamic as far as search goes. But look, we're really going to have to kind of get through this quarter, get through the June quarter, and then everyone's looking for the back half of the year to kind of get over this slump, have a new iPhone cycle that can reinvigorate sales, potentially around artificial intelligence, guys.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing you for certain, Steve Kovac, around these earnings when they're released in overtime. So, Belsky, I said you own the stock too. Headwinds, tailwinds, which do you want to focus more on?
Tailwinds, of course.
Johnny
Why
Sunshine.
are you giggling? Johnny Sunshine. Here's why. Follow the cash. You crushed it on the buyback and the dividend. They never bet against anybody that has a boatload of cash that has not really come out and talked about what their AI plans are. We know that Meta's way behind on the AI thing. That's a completely different story. I think Apple's been there, and they're much more humble about what they've been doing with AI. I think that they're going to crush it, and it's really difficult to be massively overweight Apple. We treat Apple in our portfolios that we own it as more of a consumer staple, so that's a core holding from us. So guess what? When it goes down, we rebalance. So that's a stock that we're going to own.
I mean, if you look at, Liz, the sort of total story of the mega caps. Mm-hmm. Why it's hard to be negative, and people like Tony Pasquarello at Goldman Sachs continue to urge investors to, quote, keep your eye on the ball and stay large and stay in these areas of the stock market, is because of what Brian said, buybacks. But now you want to put dividends on top of that too. I mean, Apple already paid one, but we got 2 dividend announcements last week from mega caps. CapEx, free cash flow. You really want to run against that?
No, especially not if we're late cycle. You want to be in large cap, you want to be in quality businesses, you want to be in businesses that can generate enough cash to internally finance their own growth. I think one of the things that somebody like Apple is dealing with right now is that it's tough to compete with the growth prospects of AI that every other company has been able to benefit from. They haven't yet gotten onto that bandwagon. Yeah. I don't know what the reaction
maybe they
is.
have, but it's been a narrative. It's been, if anything, it's just been a narrative thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's by the virtue of a calendar and timing, and
right.
They'll talk about it when they're ready to talk about it.
Right, and I think that's okay. I've continued to believe that we've pulled this AI theme so far forward, almost as if investors are expecting to get gratification for it by the end of this year in multiples, and it's just not going to happen. That's not how a theme works. It has to go through some cycles. It has to go through some maturing, and so that we understand how we actually make money off of it. So maybe not being the first mover is a good idea. I mean, we're going to find out and see how investors reward it.
Well,
I would agree with Belsky, though. I think this is a company, maybe it does fall more into that staples category in that broader group of the Mag 7 because they've got the sticky iPhone business.
They've never cared about being a first mover. It's just being the best mover.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what we get with AI. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Why
next month.
Why do we think they need to be a player with their own large language model? That's probably going to be the commodity piece. Meta's giving it away for free. So, why do we think that the race to build the LLM is the thing that matters? Maybe that's the thing that sparked. Look, nobody owned HTTP. It's free. It's what you built on top of it. So, look, if this guy even whispers AI Siri, stock probably goes up 10 points. I don't know. Is he going to do it on an earnings call, or is he going to do it? Is he going to do it in June at the developers conference?
I think the latter.
The
range. Do we need to wait until WWDC? The stock's been in a range. The chart's been terrible. Everybody knows the story.
You hit on it before. It's the iPhone. We need a reason to get another iPhone. Don't do iPhone 17, iPhone 18, and tell me it has a faster Apple chip in it, because nobody thinks the current Apple chip is slow. Yeah, nobody knows. Right. I need a fifth lens like I need a third nipple. What I really want to, I'm sorry, am I in trouble now? What I really want to see, honestly, is a reason to get the next iPhone, and it's going to be AI. I don't think they have to say that tonight. That's all. Can you recover from that? Or?
I was trying to figure out how to respond, and I chose. It's not even worth it.
What's up?
It's not even worth it.
I think we need another, because look, iPhone's half the revenue, down 9.6% year over year.
My mortgage is more important than your mortgage.
That's right. What's going to be the thing that makes people say, I need another iPhone? If you tell me that we're going to hear that this summer, and the answer is going to involve AI, generative AI, whatever, for me, that's the thing that could get the stock out of the range, to answer your question.